What's going on, everybody? Payne back here again with another Marvel Future Revolution video. Guys, today we're going to be talking about what to expect when this game drops global and whether this game is good for you or not. So I want to break down the good and the bad so you guys can have a good understanding in September when this game drops, if you should be excited for it or if you should avoid it like the plague. So what I want to do, guys, I want to talk a little bit about the good and then go into the bad. And I'm going to give you a complete honest opinion from a person who's now at the end game, has been doing it for quite some time now. The game's been out for a little bit over 2 weeks, but it has enough content now where I feel comfortable explaining to you guys what they've done right, they being that Marvel monster, and what they've done wrong, and I'm hoping they adjust it now. This is all subject to change when the game does go global. This is a soft launch for Canada right now, so if you do want to join, you have to use a VPN, you do have to use LD Player or BlueStacks, and that's probably your best way of doing this. But today, guys, let's talk a little bit about the good. So first and foremost, let's talk about the graphics. Like, there is no other game out there on the market, in my opinion, that looks as good as this. It will eat up your phone, that is bad, but that's just the monster that it is, right? If you're going to play a game that looks like a PS4 game, get ready to obviously have your phone either be upgraded or your phone be destroyed while playing it. So I do recommend using a tablet or a PC when you play this game. It just makes the experience a little better. But for those who are relying on the mobile phone, you will get warnings such as your phone is heating up. So you do have to drop your settings to low. But graphically, guys, honestly, I think this is probably one of the best looking games I've ever seen in my life. All right, another thing that's really good about this game is customization. Each character has so many options. If you haven't seen my Spidey video or my even the beginning video of this where I made this my main game, check that video out. You can take a look, but I've shown all the different customizations you can do, and I can show you guys again real quick under hero and hero information. Like the amount of costumes that are available to characters, there are 15 different sets with themes, and I mean, you can dress your Spider-Man up any freaking way you want. You can mix and match costumes. You can go through different eras, different types of Spider-Man from different regions. It's just amazing, and no pun intended using Spider-Man when I say that, but there's just so much cool things you can do with this, and I applaud Netmarble for putting so much effort into the customization, because quite honestly, sometimes I get bored of the Spider-Man I'm using and I just want to switch it up, and sometimes I have some crazy designs. Right now I'm rocking the gold suit, but yeah, something that's really cool is that, and I do appreciate Netmarble putting all that effort into the customization aspect. All right. Second thing, the skill system. I love the skill system. So it's very similar to what Diablo is or any other dungeon crawler, where you have a set of skills, and those skills can advance and become other things as well too. And you get a choice of optimizing and choosing your skills based on 3 different sets. So you can do ones for PvE, PvP, and bosses, right? So in that regard, the customization for the actual gameplay, fantastic. And going to gameplay, PvE, story mode, and the options of PvE in this game are bar to none some of the best MMO gacha game things that this game has to offer. The story mode itself is original. It's not bad. You do have the option of playing all the characters at once, and actually, as a matter of fact, the game recommends you do that so you can get yourself squad power, which increases your overall power for all the characters. So the more you have, every time you start a brand new alt, that character is a little bit more OP, right? So in that regard, they did that right. It makes you want to play other characters, and also allows you to learn the playstyle. Now, for the characters themselves, they have a variety of characters that do different things. So if you want to choose a superhero that caters to, the style of a tank, you have Captain America. You want to cater to a style of an AoE user, you can use Storm. If you want to be, someone who does flashy moves, you can use Star-Lord. You want to use somebody who flies around and does AoE and debuffs, you can use Doctor Strange. You want to use a burst damage dealer, you can use Black Widow. You want to use, somebody who does a lot of dodge and CC, you can use Spider-Man. So again, all the characters have something unique they bring to the table. So it's very, very well thought of. And right now there's enough characters in the game to whet your appetite, but there are probably more coming. Right now they have other characters like Magneto, Hulk, Deadpool, etc. in the game already. All the tunes some of their costumes are even available. So look out for that. I think some of those will come out during launch as a pre-registration thing, or maybe as a launch bonus for people as a brand new character jumping on. So in that regard, they've done that really, really well. Okay, so PvE is really good. Now for modes, I love every mode. Blitz is your dungeon crawler, essentially 4v4. You can do solo if you want. You can do 2 players, and it scales all base 100s, and you get a lot of loot here. You can refresh and do up to 6. It gives you 3 originally. Most Wanted is actually really fun. A lot of people hate this mode. I personally love it. It makes you go and explore the world even more, kill these mini bosses, and once you kill them, you get squad experience points, and then you get to get a reward of either Convergium, gold, or costumes. I personally think this is an amazing part of the game. It makes you go back and actually explore the game even more, and not to mention, it helps you complete the activity log. And going to the activity log, this thing is amazing. I think this is such a genius thing to do. It's pretty much achievements in each region. It makes you go back and actually want to do these because they drop really good gear. They give you rewards such as a 5-star card, for example, right? Gives you a ton of EXP for your squad and gold. There's a villain log where you kill these mobs, and each mob will actually drop items for you, so there's incentive to go back. Collectibles also give you things that up your power, and then there's the Most Wanted, which are essentially the prime villains and the mini villains. So definitely, guys, a lot of the time will be spent doing this, and Most Wanted helps you collect rewards just for doing that. So I love that option, and it makes you go revisit worlds that you normally wouldn't bother going to, right? So that's cool. Special Operations is your Gauntlet 4v4, and this is a wicked game because it takes away the power scale from Whales versus F2Ps in a PvE aspect and puts you all together, and you compete for top points while working together to finish the content, and it gives you a plethora of rewards. And the weekly rank actually offers you costumes, so you can get costumes here and through Dark Zone, which we'll talk about shortly. And this is one of the most sought after things because costumes are the hardest thing in this game to get, so a lot of people will spend their time doing this. Now you can do this mode all day long and collect these points as much as you want. The only thing is you don't get the daily rewards after the first one. So I will be spending a lot more time in here eventually. I'm currently not. I'm focusing a lot more on PvP right now, but that is one of my favorite modes. And it's actually pretty interesting because even as a whale, F2Ps are beating me sometimes because their characters are just better suited for those things. So it makes you want to level other characters so you can do better in those modes. All right, Battle Challenge, another really cool one. 30 stages worth of different things you need to do. It gets more difficult as you get to number 30, obviously, and then after you're done all these, and you can try them as many times as you want. There's no reset cap. You will get rewards for it, and the rewards themselves are actually cores. So definitely something that's a lot of fun to do, and you continue to evolve and get better with your gameplay because the bosses challenge you so much, as well as the rewards are worth doing. So challenge mode, PvE, they've done right. And lastly, raids. Raids are end game content. They go from challenge, extreme to ultimate. If you haven't seen my videos on those, you can. I'll show you some of the bosses. I've done Ultron and Fenris, and I'll be doing the rest of them very shortly. But really cool because you get to pit yourself with other people, and this one actually allows whales to help F2P. A lot of the whales like myself run F2P players on ultimates to help them get the rewards and reap the benefits of being a whale with an F2P. So PvE, guys, they've done a great job. So if you're into PvE, guys, this game is going to be for you for sure. Another cool thing is the community actually talks in world chat quite a bit, and there is some toxicity. I will say this, we're not going to point any names or say any people. There is definitely toxicity, but I mean, what game doesn't have that? You can just block people and report them if you want, and just enjoy the game for what it is. The cool thing, though, I will say, is within the world chat, everybody does call out where prime bosses and mini bosses are. So if you go above your mini map, there's channels here, and these channels are different instances for this area. So for example, if I'm looking for somebody like Malachite and I can't find him, right, I can always go to the world 2, for example, and see if someone's there. Now I can't do it during combat. And 3, so what people will end up doing here on the map is people will end up calling out bosses when they see them. Every time a prime boss spawns, it takes 55 seconds for them to pop up. That gives you enough time to change worlds and jump into that fight and help out those people and get those cards. Now the incentive of doing prime bosses and mini bosses, you get collect Omega cards. You get 7 from the minis and 2 from the primes. All right. So in that regard, guys, whaling and F2P, there is a benefit to that in PvE. All right, that's the good. Let's talk about the bad. Now, there is some bad in this, and it needs to be addressed, all right? So the first thing I'm going to talk about with the bad is the crafting system. The crafting system needs to be reworked 1000%. The reason why I say that is people can only get sin particles, which is one of the only ways to craft, only 8 to 12 of those a day. It takes, I think, 3 or 4 of those sin particles to craft. And so you can only craft 4 costumes a day practically, right? That is not enough. And the reason why it's not enough is because the actual RNG to get a regional piece is so low. It's worse than the gacha system itself, and we'll talk about that shortly. So crafting should have a build-up, like a bar, right? So let's say you craft 4 times, it gives you 10% chance to get a regional. If you craft 8 times, it gives you 20% or 15%. There should be a build-up bar there that allows you to craft, and then eventually you're guaranteed a piece of that regional. Right now, that doesn't exist. So essentially a pity. It has to exist. And speaking of pities, the second part that makes or breaks a gacha is the actual gacha system itself. The packages are super expensive. They're very expensive. A full-on package here costs $120 for 4 multis, or 3 multis even. 3 multis and a little bit more. All right. When you do the multis, you're not even guaranteed a regional costume. You're only a slight chance of getting one, and it's really difficult to know whether you're gonna get a 3, 4, or 5 star. Doing a multi has no benefit. Currently, there's zero benefit to doing a multi. It's the same draw rate as doing a single, and I hate that. It's 2021. No gacha system should have this problem. I don't even know why they do this. So if you're right away contemplating the gacha system, if it's going to change your mind in any way, I'll let you know. There is no pity system now. But I will say this. There's a disclaimer around what I'm saying. There are these tokens currently that we're all collecting called Omega Points. We don't know what these special items in the future are. We don't know what to expect here. So what I'm saying may not matter in the long game, but right now, as a player playing now, you have no pity system to get any of these outfits. It's all completely random, especially the regional ones. Those are hard to get. So that applies to the Omega cards and the Legendary cards. Those are very, very hard to get. None of these special cards are available anywhere else but through gacha, and they're super difficult to obtain. So the gacha system's a little poor. I really hope the devs do something, and if these Omega cards or Omega points are pity system, it'd be nice to know what they do eventually, right? So we know what to pull for. Because listen, if it's a fantastic incentive, you should let us know, because there may be more whales who are like, I'm gonna wait here until I see what this does, and they may end up spending a lot more money for your game if you let us know ahead of time what that actual Omega system is. So don't screw around. Let us know. Like I said, packages very expensive, very, very expensive. A lot of this stuff, guys, you know, the tokens are even expensive. Like, as a free-to-play player, it's going to be very hard to get a lot of these tokens. Omega War tokens, Dimensional Duel tokens. These are tokens you're going to be fighting against whales, and that's what we're going to get into next. These are all mostly PvP tokens. So let's talk about PvP. We went from the good, we're now going over to the bad, right? We talked about the gacha being bad. We talked about the crafting being bad. Let's talk about some modes. All right, so Omega War. Oh, man, where do I start? As a whale, it's a huge benefit for me, but it also sucks for the player base, and I feel it for them because I'm in there and I'm destroying things with like one tagging, and it sucks for them, and I totally understand why. So Omega War essentially, guys, is your Royal Rumble war where it's 10v10, blue team, red team. At the end of the day, you just fight each other in this giant map. You know what? Not giant, medium map, let's say, and you collect points from killing one another, right? So team with the most points wins at the end after I think it's like 8 to 10 minutes of the interval. So the problem right now is there's no advantage to be free to play. There's a complete advantage being a whale, right? Now that is okay, but I think it needs to be balanced. And here's what my balancing ideas are. Number one, take away whaling F2P, just make everybody straightforward. Pick your character, pick your skills. Gear doesn't matter, nothing matters. Set amount of HP for each person. Go in there, have fun, destroy each other. Skill will prevail, or teamwork will prevail. That's option number one. Option number two, don't put everybody together based on whatever rank you want. Put people together with the same power levels, and if you don't have that, add in bots to make up for it, right? There should be no reason for an 820 Spider-Man to be in there with a level 61 who has 100k. It makes no sense. You're pretty much giving the level 61 a bad taste in their mouth where they can't even move without being tagged, right? So that needs to be balanced hardcore. It's a fun mode. It's a great mode. I have a ton of fun time playing it, but I can only imagine being on the receiving end, right? So when me and my buddies go on as whales, it's great fighting one another because it's pure fun, right? And it's intense and it's nail biting, but everyone else essentially just watches us. It's like being at a club and you've got like the star dancers and you're making a circle around them and you're like, damn, I wish I could do that. And they're just having a blast and you're just watching, right? That's what Omega War feels like right now. Fix the damn mode, or at least put something in there for incentive for other players to have fun with, right? Okay. Next mode, Dimensional Duel. Now, this is your 1v1. Same scenario applies. You're putting in people who are not whales versus free to play, and they're fighting other whales, and it's just making it very lopsided. All right. Now, I understand the top ranks should go for whales. Like you can see here, I can say whale, 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 whale. I mean, the list goes down. Whale, whale, probably, maybe dolphins. Some of them will be dolphins, but for the most part, we're whales. This should be something that is available still. I'm not saying change this one, but there should be a secondary dimensional duel maybe called Balanced, and it has half the rewards only, and it allows everybody to fight on an even playing field, just like I mentioned with Omega War. That will actually help a lot of free-to-play players get more rewards, and people can double dip that way, right? So some F2Ps who are really good at PvP but don't have the gear or the money will do really well there, while some whales will do really well in this current dimension mode, but will suck in the other one because they're just not as skillful. I'm just saying, right? Balance it out. And then lastly, guys, there's Dark Zone. Dark Zone, there's good and bad. All right, so Dark Zone itself is a unique area, and it's probably my favorite place in the game. And it is a full worldwide PvP mode / PvE mode. So what it does, I'm gonna just go in there. I only have 10 minutes left because you only have a certain amount of time you can visit. You have 3 different territories. You decide where you want to go. You can attack players here that are non-alliance or team members, or you can attack bosses, or you can attack both. The beauty of this mode is the map is massive, and every boss can spawn here. So you get yourself points for killing bosses, you get yourself Omega cards, and at the end of the week, everybody gets costume rewards, right? Now, the cool thing about this is the map is huge, like I mentioned, but you can actually set yourself to scale, which is you can attack both player and NPC. There's target villains, which is only targeting the bosses, and then there's target hostile, which is targeting specific PvP players and not the bosses themselves. They nerfed the PvP aspect quite a lot. You can only get 2 points for killing a player now, where before it was 100, and it was the same amount as killing a boss. So they definitely nerfed that to the ground. So right now PvP is not worth it, but it is fun still if that's what you and your group want to do. So most of us are targeting villains. The only rework here I would do, all right, and this is the only one, is change the targeting system. In general, just change the targeting system. It sucks. But right now, if I do villain only, I can still hit players within my AoEs. Take that away. If I do villain, my AoE should cancel out killing anybody. If I want to target people, I'll go to scale or this. Like, there should be no reason for me to hit other players doing this, and it's causing a lot of frustration, and it's getting a lot of players upset about what's happening. So my suggestion to the devs is fix that at least. Make it so that if I want to attack both people, I can attack people based on the scale rather than on the actual the villain one that I have set right now. That shouldn't even be a question. Another thing is they should allow the ×2 rewards part be around maybe 3 or 4 times rather than 2. Right now the 2 times reward is when everybody actually joins. A lot of people spend their time here doing that. The difficulty for the bosses are great. It's almost impossible to solo unless you're a big time whale. But one thing I will say is the actual 2 times event should be catered to more to a bigger audience, because right now it's only, I think, 1 p.m. Eastern time and 9 p.m. Eastern time or 10 p.m. Eastern time, and it's just either too late or too early for some people. It should run at least, like, I'd say 6 a.m., 9 a.m., 9 p.m., and then maybe 12 a.m. Run it 4 times so those midnight people can join in as well too, because I know a lot of our members don't have the ability to jump on any earlier. Outside of that, guys, game right now is still incredible in my eyes. They've done a great job putting everything together. It's a lot of fun. It's engaging. The community is growing. The gameplay is non-stop. It promotes you leveling other characters, so there's a lot of variety and fertility and a lot of replayability that you can put into this. And the cool thing is it's just never a dull moment. But there are some bad things that need to change, and I'm hoping that on the main Discord, where if you join the thing, there's a suggestion section that you can show the devs. You can upvote, downvote, etc. other people's suggestions, but you can add your own. Hopefully they will take these suggestions into consideration and make some of these changes for us, because I think we're looking at one of the best gacha games I've seen in a very, very long time. I know I've said that many times, but it just keeps upping the ante, and I'm telling you right now, this is now becoming, to me, the standard of MMORPG gacha games. So if they just fix those small issues I mentioned, I think we're looking at a game that'll last a very, very long time. Alright guys, this is Payne. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this either made you enjoy the game or hate the game, or made you want to, can't wait for it, or you're like, you know what, this is not for me. Hope this video was enlightening. And yeah, if you have any questions, comment section. For those people who stuck around with me after my Ninja Tribes career and I'm now doing this instead, thank you so much for the support. For the new players in the community, for supporting me, thank you for watching. For those people who are just kind of kicking around and just waiting to see what I do, this is it now, guys. So I hope you guys enjoy the videos. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, help my channel grow, and let's continue doing this wonderful game. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. See you later.